I'm Katie Dickinson, and welcome to DIS News. Tonight, the team has selected breaking news from the U.S. and around the world. With me to my left is our sports host, Rebecca Friedman.
Hello.
And to my right, Mickey Kaharnia, who's going to start off the night with the weather forecast for the Austin area.
Thanks a lot, Katie. Hope everyone's having a nice Labor Day weekend. Looks like today's going to be yet another nice and sunny day, with a high of 101, partly cloudy skies as it cools down to a low of 76 later in the evening, with a 30% chance of rain. Probably a nice day to head down to Barton Springs or even down for a drive to the beautiful Hamilton Pool to cool down from this Texas heat on your day off. Maybe even a traditional Labor Day barbecue in your backyard with some friends and family down by the pool. Now, after coming to the end of this relaxing weekend, the week's 5-day weather forecast looks relatively similar as we approach the end of summer season, with highs from 97 to 99 and lows to mid to high 70s, partly cloudy skies, and chances of isolated thunderstorms coming in from the northeast. Slowly but surely, it's cooling down here, Texas. Now back to you, Katie.
Thanks, Mickey. Sounds like great weather for the Labor Day. Now we head out to the streets of Odense, where our field reporter, Carla Cook, is gauging people's reactions to the recent ban of pork meatballs in Danish preschools.
In a country where pigs outnumber people, some schools in Copenhagen are taking pork completely off the menu. Nearly 2,000 schools in the greater Copenhagen area now only serve beef butchered in accordance with halal specifications, which require the animal to be killed by hand. Does this controversial policy promote religious inclusion or lead to the unintentional exclusion of Danish values? We spoke to people in Ølst about this so-called frikadelle war.
I think there should be room enough for both parts, both the Muslims and who don't eat pork and the Danish. You could be handle that, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Hello, I'm from Copenhagen and I'm here in Odense, and I want to talk about the way the Danish are bending over for the Muslims and Arabs. And it comes so far, so we take our national dish off our menu in schools and everywhere, and I think it's a shame. We should be proud of our culture and just keep it the way it is. Thank you.
Hey, I think that they should do like double menu, like for people who believe in this religion, and for some who do not, they should get like pork. That's it. Yeah. Like double menu, simple. It's not a big deal, I think. Bye.
I guess the people of Denmark have spoken. Back to you.
Thanks, Carla. Looks like local preschoolers won't be pigging out on meatballs anytime soon. In international news, Obama has released statements affirming his intentions to intervene in the recent abuse of governmental power in Syria. The U.S. has received reliable hair and blood samples containing the toxic chemical sarin, thus confirming Obama's suspicions of Bashar al-Assad's use of chemical weapons against his own citizens. This recent development gives Obama the right to use military power in Syria with or without congressional approval. This comes only a day after Obama promised to seek the vote of the House and the Senate before taking military action in the Middle East. President Obama touches on his belief in the importance of legislative approval and states, "We are stronger as a nation." However, he makes his militant intentions clear by saying America needs to act. The United Nations agrees that the use of chemical weapons is intolerable, however, is waiting on more conclusive evidence from an independent investigation before taking military action against Syria. As the story continues to develop, we will keep you updated. Our sports reporter, Rebecca, takes us back to the U.S., where the college football season kicked off this weekend.
College football geared up for the 2013 season this past weekend at Texas A&M, where quarterback and Heisman Trophy winner Johnny Manziel continues to make headlines. After violating NCAA rules involving autograph signings, Manziel served his suspension by sitting out of the first half of the Aggies' contest against Rice. He managed to continue to make waves in the second half. After a confrontation with a Rice defender, Manziel allegedly mimicked signing an autograph. Manziel's questionable attitude continued into the fourth quarter, where the quarterback was benched by Coach Kevin Sumlin after receiving an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty for pointing at the scoreboard in attempts to taunt the Rice players. Despite Manziel's antics, the number 7 Aggies managed to take the season opener 52-31. Meanwhile, the top tier of college football continued to do what they do best, with number 1 Alabama topping Virginia Tech 35-10 in their season opener. Number 2 Ohio State came out with a 40-20 win over Buffalo, and number 3 Oregon demolished Nicholls 66-3. However, it was a double whammy for number 5 Georgia, who not only lost to number 8 Clemson, but also lost wide receiver Malcolm Mitchell in a season-ending ACL tear after celebrating a first-quarter touchdown.
Sounds like an exciting start to the season. Who's your pick to finish on top of the league this season?
Well, it's hard to tell this early on, but you can always rely on frontrunners like Alabama, Ohio State, and Oregon to have great years in 2013.
In financial news, on August 20th, the EU declared a ban on imports of herring and mackerel from the Faroe Islands. Any products containing these fish cannot be exported to the EU from the islands, and the Faroese vessels which catch these type of fish are not allowed to use their ports. The Faroese are enraged, as the fishing industry is a major source of income for them. The EU claims that the Faroe Islands have exceeded their previously agreed-upon quota of exported fish. The Prime Minister of the islands fired back, accusing the EU of abusing its power. The islands defend their actions, expressing that they have increased their fishing due to the changing migration patterns of the herring. There is disagreement upon who has the right to fish and who has the right to the quota. Future negotiations are set to be held in London. To finish off the night, we look into the latest reactions to Miley's controversial performance at the VMAs. In case you haven't gotten sick of Miley Cyrus's VMA performance, another famous figure decided to share his opinion. Steve Kemmler, the alleged creator of the foam finger, was utterly outraged to see his iconic product used in the controversial Music Awards performance. E! News got the exclusive inside scoop from Kemmler himself. I would say that it certainly misrepresented its intent to encourage team support, Kemmler said of the incident. She took an honorable icon that is seen in sporting venues everywhere and degraded it. Fortunately, the foam finger has been around long enough that it will survive this incident. As for Miley Cyrus, let's hope she can outlive this event and also survive. Despite his outcry, the exact origin of the beloved number 1 foam finger is still murky. A man named Garrel Falls began selling the legendary fan paraphernalia since 1978. Kemmler stands by his claim that he inspired the design, saying that one thing leads to another and other people copy it and it goes on. Maybe the inventor of spandex will be the next to speak out again against Cyrus. You can always count on Miley to keep things interesting. That wraps up our broadcast for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Talk for a day. Good night.